Well, good afternoon. Hi there. I think I'm live. um, anyway, welcome to Fashion Flair Friday. It's Marianne Gellatly coming to you. I always enjoy my Fridays at 12 noon so I can talk about something that's near and dear to my heart or to talk about something that you have suggested or that you have asked about. So you know the drill here. If you are with me live, please go ahead and say hello when you come on. And later, if you're watching it on replay, go ahead and say replay in the comments area so that I know you have been here. So this is a topic that is interesting to a lot of people because in our industry, I can tell you when I say our industry, I'm talking about the image industry. Our industry has changed. Our industry is only about 34 years old, I would say. And I guess I am proud to say that I'm sort of at the leading edge of that because when I started my business back in 1991, I was one of the early adopters of this industry and of this profession and really made a business out of it. But it's definitely changed. And so, what are the terms that are used today that weren't used 30 years ago? So, I thought I would just, you know, tell you a little bit more about that. So, if you're here, say hi. I see a few people are here. All right. So, as I said, I started my career 31 years ago, back in 1991. Hard to believe, actually, that this much time has passed so quickly. I attended a 2-year fashion merchandising and image consulting program. And at the time, it was very new and very exciting. And I don't think any of us really knew what this image consulting part of it was. The fashion merchandising, yes. The fashion design, yes. But image consulting, that was a little questionable. But being at the forefront, it was fun to actually see our industry evolve. Now, as an image consultant, the one thing I learned way back then is that I was trained to work with the whole of the client, meaning I worked with, their personality. Um, I worked with their coloring. I worked with their style preferences. I worked with their body. I worked with their goals. I worked with their career goals. And I would put it all together in terms of, taking the whole of the individual and helping them develop a style that really spoke to all of those things. So that's when we were called image consultants. And actually, many of us are still called image consultants, but there have been some new terminology used, which I'll tell you about in a moment. So, most of my work was done in companies. When I first started out, I had come out of the corporate arena, and so I was very comfortable there. And so the first thing I thought I wanted to do was to work in companies. And by that, I mean going in and training either the key departments or key individuals within the company. So I was often hired by either the executive team or the HR department to come in and work with groups or sometimes with individuals who were people that had a lot of potential, but just never really got their image or their style together. So I used the ABCs of image when I did my work, and that was called the ABCs, or appearance, behavior, and communication. And one thing that I really loved about it was, I loved the training, I love the teaching. I still love that today for those of you that know me. But the one thing I wasn't able to do really was to see what effect I had on these employees on a longer term because they would bring me in, I would do my training, and then I was gone, and I might never connect with those individuals again. In fact, more often than not, I didn't. So that after a while, it just wasn't satisfying me. It wasn't making my, heart warm. And that's when I came to the conclusion about, I'm going to say about 13 years ago, maybe 14 years ago, that I really wanted to work with individuals. I wanted to work with professional women, and I wanted to work with women that were probably, anywhere from 40 on up, but we're still working. And that has changed as I've gotten older. So, as I've gotten older, obviously my clients have gotten older. And so, some of my clients now are retired, but they're very much still my clients. So, I love um, oh, hi, Liz. I always get distracted when I see a comment. And hi, Betty. Nice to see you too. Um, so anyway, that is just a little bit of a story there. So my passion of working with professional women like myself who wanted to look and who wanted to feel confident in whatever I was doing, whether it was work related or whether it was personal related. It was about that time that in the industry we started hearing the term style coaching and personal stylist. Those two words came. So, image consulting is where we'd come from. And then we started hearing about style coach and personal stylist. And then within the last 7 years, now we're hearing the term, fashion influencer and blogger. So, what I wanted to do is to take this opportunity to just share with you where I see the differences to be. And I want you to certainly put in the comments if you have had any experiences or how you might see it. So, I'm going to start with the style coach because I call myself a style coach now. I probably call myself a style coach more now than I do an image consultant because I'm not working with the ABCs of image. I'm really working primarily now with appearance only and appearance as it revolves around the whole subject of style. So, what does a style coach do? A style coach actually teaches, she coaches and she teaches an individual's style strategies so that they can, incorporate these style strategies into their life. A style coach usually provides either done for you or done with you kinds of services. And what she likes to do is she likes to teach her clients how to be their own stylist, which I love to do because I personally don't want my clients to have to rely on me 24/7. So I try and teach them all the strategies that I know so that they can become their own stylist. And part of that is, helping them see their own uniqueness and really understand the all the elements that go into building a style for an individual for themselves. So I use my own methodology, and that's what a style coach does. She has her own methodology and she teaches her own methodology to her clients. She also likes to express her perspective on things, and the reason I like to express my perspective is because I like to help my clients kind of take on more clarity about their style. I want you to know how I see things, and then you can go ahead and decide for yourself, well, do you see it the same way or do you see it differently? Because you are different than I am, and your life is different than I am. But I like to at least give you the information or my perspective. And usually, a style coach is going to specialize in a particular niche. And my niche, as you know, is I like to work with women, as I say, 50 and better, or 50 and over. And I don't know, I'm starting to think maybe I'm going to raise that number a little bit because, again, I'm just noticing the demographics of my clients, and they're definitely over the 60 mark. So, because you're 60, and because, or if you are 60, does that mean that you have to give up on style? Absolutely not. So, as a style coach, what I want to do is to make sure my clients see possibilities for themselves and maybe see a new perspective, a new way of doing things, and to keep encouraging them to stay fresh, stay up to date, stay modern, stay contemporary, so that we can still make a difference in our world. So put in the chat if you've ever used a style coach. Okay, so the second term is a personal stylist. And a personal stylist is somebody that she is the done for you service. Okay, she is not the educator, she's not so much the coach. She comes to the rescue when there's some sort of a style challenge at hand, and maybe it's at a particular time of life. So, right now with Liz, what am I doing? I am doing Mother of the Bride services for her. So, I am being a personal stylist to Liz as she is embarking on being this Mother of the Bride. I have worked with tons of Mothers of the Bride in the last 3 or 4 months. So that is a personal styling. It's a very unique done for you service. The other might be a photo shoot. I do photo shoots. I get people ready for their photo shoots, people ready for their headshots, or maybe they're doing a headshot for their website or a headshot for maybe social media. And sometimes a personal stylist will do a brand photo shoot. So she might work for a particular store or a particular company, and she'll go ahead and create the styling for the photography that's going to go for that particular brand. So if you think about what you see in the different style magazines, Vogue or Coach or whatever the case may be, they have their own models, and then they have a personal stylist that will come in and actually prepare the models for the actual shoot. That's not something that I do. But you can be a hybrid. So for me, I am a hybrid. I am a style coach, but then for many of my clients, I do offer personal styling services. So have you used personal styling services in the past? Let me just go down here and check. And Betty, you said I had an executive position in Louisville, Kentucky. I had a style coach to advise me on the right hat to wear to the Kentucky Derby. Okay, very good. You see, she probably, in that case, wouldn't be so much a style coach. She's probably more a personal stylist. So the difference is the education, and helping you get where you want to be with your style versus a personal stylist coming in and helping with one specific sort of thing. All right. Hopefully that's clear. If it's not, go ahead and just ask your questions in the comments area if you'd like. All right. So the third thing is, or the third area or third term that we hear a lot is the fashion influencer and the style blogger. And we've seen a lot of this kind of thing over the last 5 to 6 years, maybe 7 years. But boy, during COVID, we saw a lot of it, didn't we? So you're going to find this person most often on social media. So she is going to be probably on Instagram. She's going to be on YouTube. She may even come to you via emails that she sends out, but she keeps you abreast of the latest trends. She's the person that is going to try on clothes, show you what different styles work or how different outfits come together. She's going to model them for you, and she encourages you to buy. So what she's doing is saying, these are the trends, this is what you should buy, this is what's cool. And this is the person that really doesn't know who you are specifically. She knows her general audience, of course, but she doesn't know you as an individual. So what happens sometimes, I find, with my clients that have actually succumbed to the fashion influencer or the blogger is that it can get kind of confusing for her. And she may say, oh, that looks darling on, Susie Q. And then I buy it and I put it on and it doesn't look so cute on me. Well, it can be a lot of things. It can be the style, personality of the piece. It can be the coloring. It can be the actual shape of the garment and the proportions. A lot of things that the fashion influencer can't provide to you. She's just showing you what's out there. So her client is not an individual. Her client actually is corporate sponsorship. So, what she is doing is promoting and influencing on behalf of a brand to all of us here that are watching. It can also cause a bit of chaos in the closet. This is where the gosh, I've got a closet full of clothes and nothing to wear syndrome comes in because she's been influenced to buy the latest trends, oftentimes by influencers or bloggers. And then once she gets it in there, she wonders, why did I put that in there? Okay. And it also can cause what I'm seeing is overconsumption, buying just for the sake of buying because somebody thought it was the latest thing. And right now, I think sustainability is really important rather than overconsumption. And so, that's the downside. I think it's really fun to follow the influencers and to see what they're doing and hear what they have to say. But again, I think the only time you really want to take their recommendations to heart is if you know what works for you before you listen to them, and if you're really clear about what works and what doesn't for you. So what you'll notice they are fashion influencers or mostly fashion influencers. If you see ads on their blogs or in their newsletter or on their website. So that's the differentiation. Their client is corporate sponsorship. The style coach and the personal stylist is the individual. So does that make sense? Let's see here. I don't think I have any questions. Okay, Liz had a personal shopper at Nordy's years ago. No education, but curation based on what I wanted. Yes, I mean, there is that too. The idea, I think, is what you want is you want a shopper, personal shopper, whether it's in person or whether it's online, to really understand you so that she can make recommendations specifically for who you are. All right. So, what I wanted to just say to you is that as a style coach, one of the things that I love to do is, all of you know, is I love to educate. But I also like to see results. So, education is one thing, and I think it's very powerful, and I love to do it, and I love to impart that information to women. But I also think that sometimes it's difficult to take the information and to see that information through a new lens, because oftentimes what happens is we hear the information, we take in the information, and we continue to see it through our old lens. So I created, and some of you have heard me talk about my program, my 3-month program called Empowered Style to Call Your Own. And I'm really excited about the program. I'm going to be doing the third version of it come August. And the reason I'm excited about it is because, yes, it is 7 trainings, it is 5 group coachings, but it's also 3 very specific one on ones where you can see all that I've taught through my lens for you. And I think that is when we're looking for change and we're looking to do something different and we want to get out of our rut, having new eyes to see new possibilities for you, I think is very important. So in this program, we cover what I call the 7 pillars of style development. First pillar is we're going to build your style recipe. And your recipe is words and descriptors for you that you can identify that really speak to who you are and how you want to see your style being conveyed. Your style that says, this is me, I've got it. And what are those words? The second thing we're going to do, pillar number 2, is we're going to identify your best colors by using your personal coloring. So you're very clear about your personal coloring and how you can take your personal coloring and translate that into the right colors for you in your wardrobe. And I use the example of reds just because I happen to love reds. There are all kinds of reds, and every one of us can wear a red, but I know Liz, I know Betty, I know me. All three of us are going to wear a different type of red. So that's where your personal coloring comes in, and it's really important for you to know and understand that as you're doing your shopping. All right, the third pillar that we talk about in this program is your body proportions. And based on your body proportions, what are the most flattering styles for your body silhouette? And these are the things that, you know, two people can be the exact same size, and yet when both of you put the same exact piece on, it's going to look very different on both of you based on your proportions. So what are your proportions, and what should you be looking for when you're buying new things, or quite frankly, when you're cleaning out your closet? All right, the fourth pillar is going to be your body type, your body scale, how large or how small of a body frame do you have? How large or small are your features? How large or small are your legs or your ankles? We look at the entire body, we learn the scale, and then from that, we are going to be very clear about what kinds of scales of patterns and scales of garments you should be wearing on your body. We're also going to be talking about the body type, which indicates what fabrics are going to work best on your body type. So, do you have a lot of fleshiness about you? Are you taut, or are you thin? Or are you very muscular? Those kinds of things are your body type, and those kinds of things are what direct you to the fabrics that are going to work best on you. The fifth pillar is going to be really identifying your face shape and the features of your face. That's going to identify, your accessories, your earrings, your necklaces, your jewelry, your shoes, your handbags. So, accessories are the things I think that really spice up your life, and they really can spice up your personal style. They can take classic pieces, you can take classic pieces, and with the switch out of accessories, you can really change the mood and you can change the look very nicely. So I just want you to understand how your face shape really is going to direct your best choices. Pillar number 6 is your hair, your makeup, and your grooming. And, it's all about staying on top of things and really knowing what the latest techniques are in makeup application and also makeup colors. And also, what should you be highlighting based on your facial features? So, we're going to learn all about that, and we will have a guest speaker that is going to come in and work with us on hair and makeup. And then the seventh pillar is, how do you build your wardrobe or rebuild your wardrobe or refresh your wardrobe? And how do you create those impact outfits? I'm going to give you a tool and a little secret of how you can tell whether your outfit is impactful or not. I'm not going to give it away here, but we're looking for, of course, maximum flexibility when we rebuild something. And so we're going to talk about how to use the cluster concept to do that. And also building the impact outfits, you're going to identify different types of situations and occasions that you have in your life that you need to be prepared for in your closet, whether that's casual, whether that's professional, whether that's very dressy, it doesn't matter. But you're going to identify some of these situations, and then we're going to go ahead and put together outfits that are going to prepare you and that you're going to be ready to have to pick out of your closet very, very quickly. And so the whole idea of the Empowered Style program is that you can step into your next chapter, whatever it is, your next chapter with confidence and with clarity and with a freshness. So that's a little bit about what I do as a style coach to give my clients, the style coaching that they need to get them moving forward to find satisfaction, to find happiness, to find joy in their closet. Because I don't know about you, but when I think I look good, it really affects how I feel about the day ahead. So we're going to be starting on August 18th, and we have 7 trainings, we have 5 coaching calls, and then you get to schedule 3 one-on-one sessions with me. And that means we can, if you live at a distance, we can do them over Zoom. But if you live in my general area, you can come to me and we can work together face to face, which is always fun. So just know that we're starting, as I said, on August 18th. There is an early bird price being offered right now on my website, and that early bird pricing goes away on next week, I guess, on the 28th. So if you have an interest, I'm going to go ahead and suggest that you take a look. I'll post the link to the website so that you can see the page if you have an interest. It's essentially powerful-presence.com/empowered-style. So I hope that has clarified the style coach versus the personal stylist versus the fashion influencer and blogger. And I guess the question I have for you is, if you feel like you need some help, where would that be right now? Who would you reach out to? Would you reach out to a style coach? Would you reach out to a personal stylist? Or would you reach out and identify and find a fashion influencer? So let me check and see if there are any last. Hi, Yasmin. Nice to see you. You have done virtual personal shopping. Yes. And pretty much that's what I do now, except for people that live right in my community. I do a lot of virtual shopping for my clients. And I think it's got its own set of challenges. There's no doubt about that. But based on what is happening in retail today, I think it is a much better alternative. The breadth and the width of the things that you can find virtually is much greater than what you can find in the stores as a result of what happened with COVID. And I don't know for sure what's going to happen going forward, because I think some of the retailers are still a little bit worried about what the future holds. So, more minimal inventory than what we used to find. All right, so Liz, okay. And yes, Marion is assisting me with Mother of the Bride. Yes, so glad. So she gets to recommend options and wade through what my kids suggest. The good news and the bad news. Yes, we have to make everybody happy, don't we? And this is such an important day for the brides, for the mothers of the bride. And so we just have to be patient and make sure that we bring it all together and bring it home for a good slam dunk when it's all over. So I am enjoying it, and I look forward to continuing on the path with you, Liz. So, all right, ladies, that is it for this Fashion Flair Friday, and I will see you again next week. Bye bye now. Take care.